this Kaleidoscope project. I'm going to start with a new file that is 12 inches by 12 inches. You don't need a background. It should be 300 dpi. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the rulers. The reason I need the rulers is because there's proportions in this you need to pay attention to. I'm going to drag a guide over to the center. That's 6 inches. I'm going to drag a guide down from the top to create 6 inches. And then I also want a 1-inch guide from the top, 1-inch guide from the bottom, left and right. So I actually have a working area of a 10-inch square. And into this I'm going to bring one of my photos that is also the same resolution. That's important. So I'm going to drag this in over here, and I'm going to kind of try and figure out what section I want, because this X in the middle is going to be the middle of my composition, and it's going to determine what kind of section I'm going to have. So I think I like this area right here, so I'm going to make sure my flower is centered in there. It also reaches all the way out to this edge and that edge. Then I'm going to get the elliptical marquee tool. If I hold down the shift key while I'm dragging, I'm going to get a perfect circle, and that circle needs to be a little bit bigger. Let's try again. Down the shift key from the very corner. There we go. There's my perfect circle. Now if I go to select inverse, it's going to choose everything that's outside that circle. I want to delete that, so now I just have this circle part. I want to deselect. I only want one section of this because I'm going to reflect it to create a kaleidoscope type image. So now I want to go to the rectangle marquee tool. I want to select just this quadrant. Again, go to select inverse to delete everything I don't want to keep here. Deselect one more time, and now I don't want a whole quarter. I just want 1/8. So I'm going to use the polygon marquee, polygon lasso, and select from this corner to the center, out to this edge and back, so I have just bisected that, so I have half of it. And I'm thinking I like this area better, so again I'm going to go to select inverse and delete. So now I have my section that I'm going to work with. So now this is where people get a little bit confused, and I'm going to show you exactly how you do it. First I have to make a copy. So I'm going to copy this layer, and now on the copy all I need to go is edit, transform, flip vertical. And I have the mirror image of this. But what I want to do now is I want to connect these two. Just free rotate, edit, transform, rotate, and then just take this so that it is the mirror image of the first piece. And I can use the arrow keys to move it into the correct. It's rotated a little bit too far. I think that's just where I want it. What I can do is zoom in to make sure that, see, right down here this isn't quite lined up the way I want it to be, so I can arrow key that down, and then I can take the original layer and move it over to the left a little bit, move the copy layer out so that these points meet, and edit, transform, scooch it up just a little bit. So now that should meet up perfectly. And if you take the time to do this right now, and line it up so it works. Makes your life easier. Now I can merge these two layers. Command E, merge the layer down. I can duplicate this layer, and now at this point all I have to do is go to Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal, move this over here, line it up, make sure that it's lined up properly, and at this point I will probably want to hide my guides because they kind of are right on top of it. I want to make sure that nothing is overlapping and that there's no gaps. I'm going to move it out again with the arrow key, and I can move it both directions. Now there's a gap, so I don't want a gap. I'm going to move it back. Now I can merge these two layers. Didn't duplicate my layer. Now, Edit, Transform, Flip Vertical. There we go. And line these up. And that is the first section of my kaleidoscope. See how every edge is mirroring something else, and it went from being a rose bed to almost a perfect rose. Now I could keep this for my center. I could cut out parts of it. I could go and get another part or another photo, since I have another photo here, and repeat it. The idea is that you can make several layers. So that was the most difficult part of it. Hopefully this will make it easier for you to finish yours. Good luck.